What up, Doctor?
Hey, Dr. Shelby, how are things?
Things are great on this end.
Good. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, there's a topic I thought that would be great. And as I'm having conversation with students who come into my practice, even my own interns, and we have conversations about this topic, I think it's something that is so important and just widespread, whether, you're a teenager, a kid, or a grown adult, and that is self-esteem and self-worth. And
Oh,
so, yeah. And so I wanted to point out, and I actually heard this a really good way to explain self-esteem and self-worth actually through Lewis Mocker. And it was a really great way. And he had this little diagram of when you're talking about self-esteem, say you have either high self-esteem or low self-esteem, neither one are actually balanced and the true authentic self. But the poised, like authentic self, that is like your self-worth, right?
mhm.
And so in order to avoid oscillating between an extreme of being puffed up more than you are or minimizing yourself or feeling less than you currently are, the balance state is actually having that self-worth. You're not puffing yourself up too much, and you're also not minimizing yourself as well. So where do you want to start with that?
Man, I think that's great. I know I'm just thinking about my own life when I notice when I'm feeling the most self-esteem and the most self-worth is when I'm living according to my values and I'm just being myself. And when I'm trying to be someone I'm not, or compare myself to someone else, or trying to live up to other people's expectations, I fall short, which then makes me feel low self-worth, low self-esteem, So I think this is a great topic because I think there's people out there that that's just listening that probably do the same. They compare themselves to others, trying to, put themselves in a box where they're not really meant to be in the box, because we all have our own unique set of values and priorities. And that's where we shine the most and have our most power. And that's where we have our most self-worth, is when we're playing within our own box of expertise.
Yeah, so well said. When you're being your true authentic self and you're not necessarily worried about what other people are doing, that's when the self-worth is there and it's more balanced. And what I've even noticed in my own life, and I've noticed in my clients' lives as well, is you can almost get into a vicious cycle. And that being, say you're in a state of pride and you're puffing yourself up, right?
Yeah.
We know that the fall comes, fall before the pride or whatever. Am
Yeah.
I saying that right? After
I
the
think
pride?
so. After.
You guys
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about, right?
It
So
all,
you're puffed up, you're very proud, and it's like this over self-exaggeration. And what happens is eventually you get humbled. And then what happens is you go the other extreme. And that's when you get into the, oh, I'm a loser, all this minimization. And none of that is actually true or real. It's just those polarities of both sides. It's extremes of both sides. So then, once you get in that self-minimization and, I'm a loser, then it kind of goes back up to the pride again. And so instead of going through this vicious cycle, it's just really identifying and getting flat with what is, and not seeing yourself as, oh, I should be here, but I'm not here, and getting puffed up about that, or, and actually appreciating where you've come from. That can really create some balance, so you don't have that volatility of, so much pride and then swinging back to the,
yeah.
I'm a loser, and the self-minimization, because I've seen it and I can see it happening in cycles, and it can be challenging if people don't recognize how to get out of that cycle.
Yeah, I've seen clients that, whenever they're trying to accomplish something, they do it. They get prideful and they build themselves up and they get cocky. And
Yes.
I've done it myself many times where
Me too.
you just think you're the shit, right? And you've done this thing and now you're cocky, and the universe is designed to humble you with some kind of tragedy to bring you back down. And the quote that comes to mind that Dr. Demartini shared with me many years ago, and I know this quote, which is, take no credit, take no blame, just focus on your chief aim. And so I think when we start taking credit and we start blaming ourselves or others, that triggers that polarity.
Yes.
And then the cycle you're talking about happens. And so if we don't take credit or take blame and just focus on our aim and our highest values and our mission, and just really keep your attention on that and not worry about, the credit and blame game, then I think that will help with the volatility of this cycle you're talking about.
Well said. I love that. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'm either identifying myself in the blame, or possibly things are going really well, and you know what, I really don't want to have that humbling.
Right.
Have a conversation with us, Dave. Where can they reach out to you?
Go to my website, drdavetuck.com, or my Facebook page, Dr. Dave Tuck professional page. You can find me there, send me a message, and we can have a conversation. How about yourself?
Awesome. You can find me on LinkedIn. Feel free to send me a message, Instagram or Facebook, or if you'd like to email us at the clinic front desk at powerpyrokw.com.
Perfect. I enjoyed this topic. Thanks. We'll see you soon.